at the age of 35, the Buddha became the Buddha, so enlightened, after 6 years of a practice. And then, after his enlightenment, he thought to himself that this teaching is so subtle, so sublime, and this teaching is for those who is willing to give up worldly life, less desires, less attachments. And after the attainment, the Buddha surveyed and looked at, in a superficial view, look at it to begin with. And he thought that majority of beings, or almost all, are infatuated by greed, hatred, and ignorance.
Money.
Yeah?
Money.
Greed. So always looking for something to accumulate. And now, the teachings that he was enlightened, giving up those. No greed and no attachment. It was completely against with the stream of the world that was heading towards. Then the first thought came to the Buddha, saying that no one is going to understand it. So why worry? Do not teach it. Rather, I just sit down, meditate, and enter the parinibbana here. And he was reflecting and appreciating the life, appreciating the tree, and simply reflecting and reciting all his enlightenment. Now that mental state, so that very moment when he enlightened, according to the scripture, suggests that many celestial beings rejoiced, were attending there, rejoicing his attainment and saying sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. But there was one particular...
But what was he reciting if the Tripitaka wasn't even written then?
Sorry?
What was he reciting?
He was reciting the knowledge that he acquired into forming. He was saying in his own words whatever he has attained at that time. Okay? So like ignorance is the main cause, so that's why we have created so many things, and then when we create, because of that creation, we consciously aware of that. Because of consciously aware of that, we become attached to it, and it goes on. So it was connecting the dots like that. So all the celestial beings were rejoicing in it. But there was a particular, this celestial being called Sahampati Brahma. Now the Brahma, according to Hindu tradition, Brahmanical religion at that time, Hinduism just came later, at that time called Brahmanism. So this Hinduism is an evolution or evolved one. So the Brahmanism, Brahmanical concept, the Brahma is the highest God. And you work to be united with the Brahma. It's like a monotheistic religious beliefs that at the end of the day you will rejoin with the God, like that. Now here, the scripture in Buddhism suggests that it is not the case. There are many Brahmas, not just a single Brahma, many Brahmas. This one particular Brahma recognized what was going on in Buddha's head. Now he thought, now this is going to be disaster. If the Buddha does not teach, then there are people who could understand, there are celestial beings who would understand the teachings and could gain the liberation. So then this Brahma, the celestial being, descends from his invisible existence to the existence, comes to the front of the Buddha and paid respect 3 times, and then he requested to the Buddha, saying, Brahma cha lokadipati sahampati katanchale antivarang ayachatha santitha satta parachaka chatika dese tu thammang anukampimang pachang. So basically saying that, Venerable Sir, we are so pleased that you have attained the enlightenment. With the compassion, kindness and compassion, please teach the Dhamma. Please teach the Dhamma. Then, after that request, Buddha surveyed once more. Now this time was not a superficial view. He went into his meditative posture, so meditative state, and looked at the human being, all beings, not human beings, all the beings. And he realized that there are some who could understand, or who could be able to be enlightened. Some would be able to enlighten within a short period of a time, others may need a little explanation, and then others, at least they will have the chance to hear the Dhamma, and maybe little bit of a spark will go into their consciousness, and that may be the cause for them to continue in the future and possibility of studying it. So in light of that hope, then the Buddha said that those who have ears hear it. Put their ears to hear these teachings. And now on the Tathagata, the Buddha is going to beat the drum of the Dhamma. So when the Buddha said that, then the Brahma Sahampati, the celestial being, the Brahma, he realized that, okay, now the Buddha is going to teach the Dhamma. So he paid respect 3 times and put the Buddha on his right hand, made the 3 circumambulance, made a circle, circling the Buddha 3 times, and then disappeared. Right? So now here we can see that we ourselves, we do not know in which state we are in. We may be studying the Dhamma, but we will not be enlightened. May not be enlightened, but there is possibility of enlightenment. But I think I am not going to be.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
I have too much dark side.
Don't we all? I've got to gain as much merit as possible.
Huh?
I've got to gain as much merit as possible.
Yeah, so
just to take my to level.
So that's why I am not a scholar of the Pali language. See, and then I'm not a scholar of the Buddhist philosophy yet. I have only very limited knowledge about it compared to so many other people. Now, despite of all that, I try my best to study, to acquire the Buddha's teachings by studying again and again, repeatedly, doing it again and again. And over the period of a time of the study and the practice, that helped me slowly understanding and unfolding the teachings. From memorizing initially, without understanding what these meanings are, I didn't know these meanings and what we are doing these, why we have to do those, and plenty those thoughts were there at that time. But since I have decided that this path looks much calmer and much beneficial, without understanding, reciting it, memorizing it. But over a period of a time of being monk for over 20 years, those memorizing verses, memorized verses, and the teachings that I studied at that time, simply to pass the exams or get the good marks, slowly unfold one after another.
Yeah, but the Buddha did it without any teachings or scriptures or things like that. He just did it through meditation, did he not?
He did that.
So how can...
That's why he is called the Samma Sambuddha. So to do that, we have to acquire a lot of paramitas, perfections. And for us, we are very fortunate that we don't have to find the way from the middle of the jungle. The Buddha had already showed the path, that this is the path to walk on, and this is what we are working on. Walking the path that the Buddha had shown. That's all. It's easy. But for the Buddha, he had tried many tried and error, many tried and error in many lives, found this path, that saying, this is the right path now on. So if you follow this path, you will be enlightened. So we are lucky that we don't have to find which one is the right path. Yeah? And this, again, the path that the Buddha taught us for 45 years, this became a Buddhist philosophy. And this philosophy, not as just a philosophy, we have to put it into practical way. So when we put it into a practical way, and a practical in our day-to-day life, gradually these unfolding. Yes, 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 like that.
But did he not just do 6 years of meditation? Because he wasn't learning anything, because there was nothing to learn at that time.
No. We cannot just look at just one off of that. We have to look at, that's why we have to look at the day when he offered himself to the Dipankara Buddha, the previous Buddha. From that day, life after life, many lifetimes, he perfected each and every lifetimes, and that's how he acquired the knowledge. And that the 6th year was just like after you have brewed for many hundreds, thousands of a life. Now it is matured now at that time. So 6 years was like testing and investigating. Now when is to open it, like that. Yeah, and even that time, before he went on to the practice, he studied the Vedas, Brahmin scriptures, went on to the different teachers, not only the Brahmin, and then after that, so that's why when we read, we have to read the particular the moment of enlightenment that the Buddha described. So first hour, he was enlightened about his own previous lives. So when he said previous lives, the description he gave, he was able to trace back what was his name, what was his family, where it was, and what was their profession. So he was able to trace back that far. And then with that, when he was contemplating on that, so he able to see this life and then the next life. Now from this life to the next life, he was able to see that what did I do this life, and that's the result, the action, the result is coming to this life. And then so he was able to see that the cause and effects in each and every lives, and what was the cause that making him to be reborn in that life, because in this or this way. So with that, eventually he able to recognize every actions that he did and every results he received. So the enlightenment moment, so before that, after he reflected on his own action and results, he again channeled that is it just me, or is it just a hallucination? Is it only my perception? So then he spread reflecting other beings. What about other beings? So then other beings also in a similar patterns. Because they did this, now they are having this results in this life. Because they have done this in this life, they are having this results in this life. Like that. Then that's how he confirms that the cause of effects theory. It's called causality. So based on that, then he realized that if we do not do this, so there is no rebirths. Okay? So if we do not do this, the result will not be that. If we do not do this, the result will not be that. So the main key is to purify the action. Purify the action. So that purification of the action is actually the main root of not getting rebirths. And that is the state is called Nirvana. So that's why in Buddhism we have to understand it is not the subject of what after death. Actually Buddhism is not being reborn again. The theory of not getting rebirths. Not about what I am going to be after death. As long as there is a birth.
But why worry about it if you can't remember your past lives anyway?
Doesn't mean that simply you close your eyes and you pretending, saying that I don't see anything.
What do you mean?
Now you are here and you just close your eyes and, oh, I don't see anything. Is it work? You can't see it doesn't mean others can't see it. So that's the theory. Okay? So then, so the Buddha, that's why the theory of his philosophy or the teachings of the Buddha is based on that causality. And our action is to have no actions so that there will be no rebirths. And that is the state, is called the Nirvana. And we are working on to that, working on that. Right? So that's why the study, initial stage, what I'm going to, I'm trying to convey my message that beginning, just read. We may understand some, we may not understand many, but just read and try to recite and try to memorize it. And then with that, slowly we put it into practice and meditate, and with that meditation, gradually these will unfold. When it unfolds, then this is, that is. And that's how it becomes, again, habit, and then a behavior. Right? And then later on, this behavior helps to purify the actions. Right? So this is the beauty of the study of Buddhism. So that's why after he was enlightened, when he went out to teach the Dhamma, there were monks, or there were people, after he told, or he taught, or he shared some of the stories that he shared, he didn't tell, he just shared. And hearing that his knowledge, instantly they become an arahat. So the greed, hatred, delusion just gone. And then when they became arahats, then the Buddha simply told them that after they became an arahat, they simply approached to the Buddha that I want to be your disciple. I want to be your disciple. Then the Buddha simply say, Ehi Bhikkhu Upasampata. That means now on you are a monk. So that's how the ordination started. So now on you are a monk. So that's the Buddha himself pronouncing this person to be a monk or a disciple. That was the start. But later on, these monks went away, spread the teachings, and then after hearing the teachings, other people also got faith in it. Not enlightened, got faith. And then they also wanted to devote themselves to be a student of these monks. But these monks, because they have their own teacher, who is the Buddha at that time, so they could not ordain them. So always waited to see the Buddha so that they can be a monk. Then later on, as it expanded, can you imagine, within 9 months, there were over 3,000 monks already. And 3,000 monks traveling all over. And people willing to become disciples. And then it's impossible to come and to see the Buddha and become a monk. Then the Buddha allowed them to ordain. So allowed monks to ordain them by taking the refuge triple gem. So Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami for 4 times. So repeatedly saying that for 4 times, and
Why
then
4?
Yeah?
Why 4?
Why 4? Maybe for the conformity.
So what comes after Tathayampi?
So that after Tathayampi, Chatuthi.
Chatuti.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
4 times.
Chatuti.
If you do first time, doesn't matter what you do, it's very uncertain. Second time, you're getting familiar with it. Third time, according to the psychology, Buddhist psychology, you have full confidence in it. So the 4th time is like you're committing. So you're committing to do it. The full submission. So then they become a monk. Now it became such a way that even just the junior monks began to ordain others. Got trouble, chaos. So then the Buddha, so actually there are different ways of doing it. There are 8 ways of ordination. Then when the monks, many monks began, many monks, and then rather than allowing each individual to ordain someone, so collectively ordaining. So having a community of monks and then ordaining them. So it's called Yati Chatutta Kamma Vacha. So there will be a preceptor and then a group of monks, and this will done in a way that that's why it's called Chatutta Yati. So 4 times will be done. And this actually became the more democratic and more acceptable and more practical. So this way of ordination, as a result, continued even today. Continued even today. So that's why, so there will be you or a candidate will be requesting, and then there will be another monk or sometimes 2 monks come to investigate you or a candidate, your status, your desire, your different things, question, investigate. After they have investigated, then these 2 monks or 1 monk come to the Sangha community back and then informing that the candidate who is willing to become a monk, we have tested, interviewed, and seems genuine. You may wish to allow him to become a monk. Then the preceptor, as a head or a chairperson of that community, will invite the candidate to come into the group. Okay? Then again, at that time, so there's this is the 3rd one, right? So this time, then again, in front of the monks, to confirm whatever they have asked early on is right. So all the monks have to hear it. So all the monks, and then these 2 monks again ask.
But the investigators.
Investigate. So once again, these 2 monks will question these questions, and then after.
Yeah, but what is there a specific set of questions that they've got to ask?
Yeah, it will come later on. We recite that later on. So these questions will be asked. So once you have answered those questions, then you are requested to pay respect to the head monk or the chairperson to become a monk. And then after that, the chair monk will perform the ordination ceremony. So he will say a few words and then they will repeat, and then he will give admonition and to get the conformity. He will be asking, are you sure? Is it proper? Have you made your mind? So you will say, Ama Pante, Ama Pante, Ama Pante, like that.
So even the novices get all this, yes?
Novices is not necessary, but some temples will ask that too. Are you sure? Are you sure? Like that. And then after you have said Ama Bhante, Ama Bhante, Ama Bhante, like that, and then so the preceptor will say, okay, then he will admonish, and then you become a monk. So this tradition been continued up to now. So this is the way how a tradition of ordination evolved until now. Okay? Now in Thailand, to be a chairperson, to ordain, you have to go to the exam, and you got to you have to have the certificate of ordination. So like we have a couple of monks nowadays. In the past there were only 1 or 2. Now there are in the UK where Ajahn Lam is the senior most. And then there are other monks now, they can ordain. So they are officially recognized as a preceptor.
And they're all Thai.
All Thai. In English, there is Achan Amaro in Amravati, so he can ordain too. Like that. Right? So that's why this ordination is quite a significant.
But why is there no Nepalese or Sri Lankan or?
So first of all, we have only few Nepalese monks, only 3 Nepalese monks, and we haven't gone to training. And then Sri Lankans, first of all, most of the Sri Lankan monks living here, although they have been a long time monkhood and they probably are qualified, but unfortunately there is no uposatha for them. In Sri Lankan temples, although there are about 30 temples in the UK, there is no uposatha like this where you can ordain monks. So they normally bring monks who ordain in Sri Lanka over here. So I think probably that's a tradition is a bit different, belief is a bit different. So that's the case. So that's why in the UK, even like a couple of years ago, when Sri Lankan man was ordained as a novice for a couple of years in Sri Lanka and was living in London, and he wanted to become a monk. So the head monk of London Buddhist Vihara, which is Sri Lankan temple, he came to Achan Lau and ordained in King's Bromley. And then he stayed in Buddhapadipa for a couple of years, and now he's in Sri Lanka, like that. So that's why the tradition of the ordination is quite significant, and it's very important to pass on. Now, since we have the uposatha here, I am also told to go and train up to be the preceptor or the upajayo, but I haven't accepted that invitation. I thought that we have plenty in the UK, particularly we have Achan Lau, so I can just ask him. It was easier. So that's why.
How is it hard?
Huh?
Is it hard?
It's not that hard, but it's just a matter of, since we have a senior monks, I feel uncomfortable to have it. So.